Okay, so we're talking about addition in this video, and basically, if we just remember, an example. You take two numbers and add. Just a couple of things. These guys are both called the add-ins. And in the long term, it's not crucial that you remember some of these terms. We're going to see all these terms over all of the arithmetic here, but it's helpful when you're sort of talking to other people about that, sort of knowledgeable about mathematics and teaching mathematics. That it's like, oh, you talk about the add-ins type of thing. So again, I'm not going to quiz you on this type of stuff, but those are what those are called. The result is called sum. That's pretty key. And anyway, basically what this is an addition is just sort of counting and then counting more, right? So it's the most basic operation that we have in mathematics, and all kids are doing it from a pretty young age, because they're just counting type of thing. So, I lost my notes here. All right. So, let me see. There's a couple of different models that are quite helpful with this. Oops. Right, so we typically with that have two sets of objects representing those two things. Right. So how many objects total, right? So, in many cases, what you kind of want to do sometimes, again from a teaching point of view, is if you're talking about addition, you may need to come back to, oh, well, what is, if I've got some kind of a problem like this, I have 2 marbles and somebody gives me 3 more marbles, how many marbles do I have now, type of thing. The other classic way to do this is a measurement model, and we often think of it is on a number line. Let's just do that, right? And if I have this on the number line, right, I start at 2, right, and I go 3 more hops. Where am I? So that's 3 up there. Where am I? I'm at 5, type of thing. And so again, and if you think about more word problems, you could talk about, walking 2 blocks and then walking 3 more blocks. How many blocks have we walked? Type of thing. All right. So I want to sort of formally write down a bunch of the properties that we have. So we have, for example, additive identity. In mathematics, an identity basically means is you don't change something. So the additive identity property is if I add something to something and I haven't changed it, what is it? So I'm going to write down this in terms of a little bit of algebra here. A, so A is some number. So A plus 0 is A. So the commutative property, you probably also use quite a bit too. I'm going to say A plus B, and B plus A. Maybe I'll do an example over here. Right. So this is the general. And here's an example. So 6 plus 0 equals 6. This would be 2 plus 3 is 3 plus 2. And again, this is one of these things is, again, if you think about, you can think about these using the last two models that I just talked about, either the set model or the measurement model. What you're just saying is that if I count, maybe for set model, right, I count 2 things and then I count 3 more things, that total number is the same as if I counted 3 things and then I counted the 2. So the order of the counting doesn't matter. So that means the adding doesn't matter. Another thing that's quite helpful is the associative property. So this would be saying like 2 plus 3 plus 4, 2 plus 3 plus 4. All right. So if I'm adding all 3 of these numbers, I add the first 2 for 5 and then add 4, it's 9. Or I add, we need to do parentheses first, remember. 3 plus 4 is 7, and then I add 2 and I also get 9. So these last two are often talked about the any order property. So, you know, if I have 2 plus 7 plus 8 plus 3 plus 4, I have 7 numbers. It doesn't really matter the order that I add them in. This is really helpful. We're going to talk a little bit more about mental math here. But if I notice, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the 2 and the 8 first, which makes it 10, the 3 and the 7, which makes it 10, and then add 4 to that to get 24. Okay. All right. So that wraps up a little intro to addition.